Hello, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining our fourth webinar, InnoVigilance International Academy. We were talking today about how to make a difference in the competitive pharmaceutical job market. We have a special guest today. Stay with us. Everywhere you are, from North America, Canada, US, from Europe, from North America, North Africa, from the Middle East and Asia. Thank you very much for your attendance. As I mentioned, so today we will talk about how to make a difference in the competitive pharmaceutical job market. So let me introduce myself for those that they attend for the first time our webinar. So my name is Omar Aimer. I'm PharmD, a pharmacist by training with PhD degree, and I'm a pharmacovigilance and drug and device safety expert in big pharma based in Montreal in Quebec, Canada. So as I mentioned, I'm a pharmacist, graduated from the University of Oran in Algeria, then with a PhD in pharmacology from the University of Algiers in my dear Algeria. Then I moved to Paris when I had a master science for the industrial pharmacy from the University of Paris Descartes in 2009. Then I had my amazing master science who threw me in the pharmacovigilance and drug safety space, which is the pharmacovigilance and drug safety master science from the Paris Descartes, Paris in France University in 2015. So in my career, I was a lecturer on pharmacology at the University of Oran, and a director for a quality control laboratory for medicinal products. Then when I moved to France in Paris, I was a pharmacovigilance pharmacist at the regional center of pharmacovigilance at Paris. Then I was also as a pharmacovigilance and drug and device safety pharmacist, also in Paris from 2011 to 2017. Then I moved here in Canada and joined, as I mentioned, pharmacovigilance as a pharmacovigilance and drug and device safety specialist in Laval, in the greater Montreal area. I was also usually a speaker and chair of roundtables at the World Congress, World Drug Safety Congress in the US, mainly in Philadelphia and Boston, and also in Europe, in Amsterdam and other European cities. I'm also author of articles on the impact of the artificial intelligence on pharmacovigilance and drug safety. I'm also a member of the International Society of Pharmacovigilance and executive committee member, voluntary basis, with at the North American chapter, and I held a certification of improving global health safety, focusing on safety and quality from the University of Harvard last year. So let me introduce my my guest. Our guest today and my guest today is Pinak Joshi, medical doctor with our amazing QPDS, qualified professional in drug safety, accreditation with he's graduated from our InnoVigilance International Academy. He's actually a drug safety physician and a candidate at Quantic for an MBA based in Boston, Massachusetts in the US. Pinak currently is a drug and safety and pharmacovigilance specialist at Technical Resources International. After a few lectures by the QPDS, by our certification, drug safety and pharmacovigilance course, and the networking supported by me, he graduated from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 2012 with a Bachelor's of Science in Molecular Biology and a minor in Global Health. In 2014, he completed a Master's of Science in Medical Sciences from the University of South Florida, Morsani College of Medicine. While earning his master's, he also earned a minor in college teaching from the USF's Academy for Teaching and Learning Excellence. Pinak received his MD medical doctor degree from St. George's University in 2019, and finally, he completed a fellowship in anatomic and clinical pathology at Harvard University in 2020, where he did research in artificial intelligence applications in clinical trials. So, welcome. Please join me to welcome Pinak. And before he joining us, I would like to share with you the last information regarding our activities, our course. And the good news is that we are launching a club on pharmacovigilance, and audio discuss. So join our pharmacovigilance club on Clubhouse. For those that you don't know, Clubhouse is the last trendy social media. Was before for just for the iOS, and now with Android you can join Clubhouse, and you can join us at Clubhouse and join our club discussing pharmacovigilance and drug safety, and also exchange. You can not as like webinar, but join the stage and speak, and also exchange with us and with others in our club. So please go. We will announce this. We will share also the link of our club at Clubhouse and on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, and you can join the Clubhouse, our club, Pharmacovigilance Club. We will organize the room weekly on a weekly basis. Me and Dr. Shams from RX course to exchange and to talk about pharmacovigilance, about opportunities, about our certification, our accreditation, also the recognition, which is amazing, also with from the recognition from from the American Society of Pharmacovigilance. And just to remind you that earning when you will be graduated from our international academy, you will grant 1 year free membership to join the American Society of Pharmacovigilance. So about the course, just to remind you also that our course, Pharmacovigilance and Drug Safety, certification is a job-ready course with 40 hours online learning online with the pre-recorded lectures. That means that the students can learn at their own pace. We have more than 25 online lectures and 7 guidelines with the regulation, PV regulation, the pharmacovigilance regulation, the US regulation, the European Medicine Agency regulation, the MENA region regulation, the Asian regulation, Japanese and China, and the Latin America regulation. The qualified professional, you will earn an accreditation, which is the QPDS, or qualified professional in pharmacovigilance and drug safety, which is recognized, as I mentioned, by the American Society of Pharmacovigilance. This certificate is designed for graduates who have a scientific background, pharmacists, medical practitioners, or medical doctors, nurses, and scientists and researchers who hold a PhD or master science in life sciences. The certification is designed for professionals aspiring to make a career as a drug safety, pharmacovigilance scientist and specialist or associate, a medical safety scientist, specialist, reviewers, clinical trial case processing safety specialist, risk management, assessment and minimization managers, directors, etc., and pharmacovigilance, safety and analytics, reporting analyst, specialist, and associate, but also a data management, governance, operations manager, associate, and so on. So, as I mentioned, also you can when you join and you choose our certification, our course, you will acquire strong knowledge on the North American regulation, which is the leading market. The pharmacovigilance, North American pharmacovigilance market, is the leading market. So the US FDA regulation, the old and the most developed regulation, as well as the European, of course, but in the you will see and you will learn about the North American, the US FDA regulation, the Canadian regulation, to understand the good pharmacovigilance practices, which are a must in your future work as drug safety and pharmacovigilance professional. Also, another very important regulation, the European regulation, so the European Medicine Agency regulation. So you will learn all of this regulation, which is very important and an asset to join drug safety and pharmacovigilance roles and also succeed in your roles. We have multiple success stories, so I invite you and urge you to go and visit our website, www.innovigilance.com, and of course, following us as you're doing well. So to join and to share, to react our post on LinkedIn. Just search by InnoVigilance on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, and also the new social media Clubhouse to join our club Pharmacovigilance Club. Thank you. So Pinak is here.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? I'm so sorry for being late. This is a really great introduction to pharmacovigilance, as you're always at the mercy of your clients. So hi, Dr. Amir, and hi to all of our guests. Thank you so much for having me on. I hope I haven't kept you all bored for the past 15 or so minutes.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I had time to present the pharmacovigilance and to announce that we launched a club on Clubhouse, Pharmacovigilance, and that we will have a great talks and to exchange on audio basis with our followers. So thank you for joining again. I have prepared questions as usual for my guests. Then we will jump with the questions from the audience.
Sure, that sounds great.
Yeah. So my first question for you, Pinak, is how did you choose PV or pharmacovigilance, and how did you know or learn about our course and certification?
Absolutely, that's a really great question. PV is not the most central place in a pharma company. It's not the most visible place, right? And so I stumbled on it partially by accident and partially through my background. So it's a very long story, but I guess the best place to start would be my educational background. So I was a scientist and a researcher before I became a physician. And so I was kind of always interested in critical reasoning and in applying these sort of scientific mechanisms. And I knew that I wanted that to be some part of my career, but I didn't know how. I thought, maybe I'll see patients, and on the side I'll do some lab work, that type of a thing. So for a number of years, I just didn't know how this would pan out. But it really came to a head when I was doing my training at Harvard. And there I met some people who were doing research in adverse events. I worked in a laboratory which was specialized in that, in trying to find out how do we detect adverse events early, and how do we automate that with artificial intelligence, and how do we report these things earlier and earlier, so that patients don't see the effects of serious adverse events later on. And that's how I got interested. That's how I got introduced, actually, to a really important mentor of mine. His name is Prahala Srinivasan, a really long name. We call him Pra. He was former head of drug safety at Merck, and he was retired, and he serves on a number of different boards on pharma companies. Really, really giant guy, especially as PV was taking off in the past 10, 20 years. So I got in touch with him, and he let me know about his background. He was actually a pathologist just like me. And that's how I got introduced into this world of pharmacovigilance and learning what actually happens behind the scenes, how physicians can play a huge role in pharmacovigilance, and what a career like that would look like. So that was my introduction to PV. And after that, I was tasked with this really enormous barrier, so to speak, of, okay, now I want to go into PV, but how do I do it? And how do I show employers that I can do something? And how am I just, a different person? So I actually completed a number of different certifications, with the UMC, Uppsala Monitoring Center. They have a number of free certifications out there, which I completed. Similarly, with the FDA, they have, ICH GCP guidelines, which I was certified in, and all of these things. And I was really missing out, because I learned soon that PV is a very, very well-regulated environment.
Yeah.
And in order to be a professional in PV, in order to really know what you're doing, number one, you have to have that intellect. You have to have that presupposition to understand, okay, this is what it means to have an AE file handed to you, and to understand what to do with it, how to report on it in a timely manner. And on a bigger scale, how do you do this around the world? It's different for US FDA, it's different for MHRA, EMA, PMDA. Every country, it seems like they have their own thing going. So that's when I came to understand that, I should really invest in understanding this market. There were books out there that that kind of go into this in various detail, like Mann's Pharmacovigilance. I read that, really great textbook for any of you out there. But I wanted something more, and that's how I came to enter NASOP, the North American Society of Pharmacovigilance. I was just looking, I was scrounging around, I was trying to find out what do people do. And that's how I found you, Dr. Amir. You know, this was the luck part of it, where just in networking, I was able to find you, and you were able to tell me, hey, you know, this might be of use to you. And I took your course, and it was very digestible, and you're really able to show what you know very quickly, and that's what differentiates, in my opinion, the InnoVigilance course from other certifications out there. You know, I've seen it far too many times when candidates can say, okay, yeah, I know ICH-GCP guidelines, I know FDA, MHRA stuff, you know, but when it comes down to asking them some substantive questions, like, all right, well, when do you have to submit an ICSR? How do you know if something is, you know, serious or not serious? How do you, you know, determine if a case is valid or not? These very basic questions, you know, this course really prepares you for that.
Yeah, definitely, and thank you about yours. When we met and we exchanged for the first time, I saw the potential, and I can tell that you are a brilliant physician, and yeah, I predict a big career for you in drug safety and pharmacovigilance. So yeah, definitely, this is the purpose for. In our course is a job ready. That's why I underline a job ready certification to help you to go through the hiring process, and to be confident also with the knowledge, with all the requirements and all the assets mentioned on the job description in 90% for drug safety and pharmacovigilance roles. And you acquire the knowledge of the regulation, all the activities. So I open the door for all the activities, the activities of pharmacovigilance within pharmacovigilance PV departments in pharmaceutical companies. My other question, thank you for your great answer. So why did you choose? Sorry. So the other question is, what was the impact of our training or certification on your general knowledge and on your practice and job search for drug safety and pharmacovigilance roles?
Absolutely, that's a really great question. So. I want to start this question by giving all of our listeners a little bit of a background into what it's like when you enter a role in PV, because I suspect that a lot of the people listening may not have entered the field yet, and they're just curious what it's like. Onboarding and getting your first PV job is a huge task, and your company is going to invest actually several months into making sure that you're task ready and you're able to perform independently. So it's actually a huge investment that they're making, and making sure that that you're up to the job, so to speak. And they invest a lot of resources there into you. So by showing that you've already done a lot of the research on the back end, you already know some of the very basic things that you need to perform, it gives you a significant leg up compared to your competition out there. To give you a quantitative kind of a view on it, after completing this certification, I was able to join a position as a specialist, which required about 2 years of experience. And for my particular case, they found out that, okay, well, PJ can just join. Mm-hmm. And that's not because I'm anything special. It's because I was able to demonstrate in my interview process, I was able to demonstrate in my cover letter that, okay, I already have a lot of this information handy to me, and I'm able to jump right in, get to know the specific SOPs of the company, and then function right off the bat. right off of the gate. That's a huge factor that comes into hiring decisions. How much do we need to train this person is tremendous. That's a huge factor that hiring managers look for, and that's one thing that really sets this apart.
Yeah, great. Yeah, of course. Mainly in some positions and entry levels, even entry levels, they ask for 1-2 years experience, and definitely in this certification, I provide this to acquire all the assets, all the knowledge to go through to replace if the lack of experience, practical experience, and to give all this stuff, all the knowledge, as I mentioned, all the assets, the must to join those positions. My other question is, once you joined your current role as drug safety physician, did the skills developed and the knowledge received following the training was helpful, and how?
Okay. Well, I'll start answering this question from the end of it. I think that'll be more helpful. So the knowledge that we get from the course is definitely helpful, specifically in your home country. If you're not working in an international space, it's really important that you hone in. Like, for example, if you're in the United States, super important to know all of those regulations like the back of your hand. It's really important to know all of the details of ICH-GCP guidelines. How do you write a report? How do you maintain your reports? How do you submit something? Super important. And that's probably the biggest asset that I was able to bring with me. In terms of skills, that is very person to person, because you'll learn very quickly that in order to be a very high functioning person in pharmacovigilance, you have to be very type A. You have to worry about things that happen several weeks from now. You have to, do your work super early, make sure that your collaborators are able to do their part really early on, and only then are you able to function in this type of an environment. I remember when I was a student taking your course, Dr. Amir, I thought, what can go wrong? This seems easy enough, right? You just write a report, you make sure that these things are cross-referenced, and yeah, it seems okay. 7 days, plenty of time. It's very naive, PV is a very intense job. You have to be very on top of things. Your communication skills need to be excellent. You have to be timely. You have to not get frustrated when things don't go your way. And I think this very difficult space is what attracts a lot of very high functioning individuals like physicians and doctors of pharmacy and so on and so forth, because we're already used to working in these kinds of insane environments, right? So it's so it takes a lot of personal discipline to make sure that you're staying organized and and on a daily basis, you're on top of everything. So, and I'm not perfect. It took me some time to get everything together, but yeah, I mean, those skills come quickly enough.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Another question is, do you? I think I missed a question. Do you recommend our certification training, PV, Pharmacovigilance and Drug Safety training, to your network, to your connections, to your colleagues? So yeah, in general.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a very easy answer. And it may not be what you want to hear, Dr. Amir. You should only take this course if you really want to learn it. Does that make sense? Because your course was difficult. This is not a course where I can just click through and say, okay, I knew it, give me some piece of paper. This is a course where you have to understand what's going on. There are quizzes after each lecture. You have to be attentive, you have to be vigilant, and it's an investment. If you're really looking forward to having a career in pharmacovigilance, this is probably the best way to do it. Having an expert like yourself tell us the ways that the industry currently functions. There are other courses out there that literally you can join, and you go through a few introductory modules, and that's it. But you won't learn. It won't be substantive. So that's a word of caution, because let's say you do one of those courses and then you get hired. What are you going to do on day one?
Yeah.
So that's why I say only do this course if you want to learn it. So it's great. It's really it took me several months to finish all of the modules. I think the very last module you go through a one-on-one coaching experience where I'm able to talk with you and get some insight into, okay, well, how do I take my career to the next step? How do I break into the market? How do I network better? How do I get involved in worldwide PV projects? Those are indispensable. As a physician, somebody who's gone through the medical training process, we're kind of used to just following what's expected next of us. You graduate, you go through training, so on and so forth. But once you're in industry, the world is kind of your oyster. You have opportunities out there. People tell you to network, but we don't. For people like myself, I didn't really know what that meant. My whole networking experience back during my medical years was really just with my colleagues, my immediate colleagues. So we have a lot to learn. We have a lot to catch up on regarding being a professional, networking with other PV professionals, understanding how to make a horizontal transition, understanding when to make a vertical transition. And this course really teaches you all of that. Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you. We are also, as I mentioned before, that we are lucky to have you and to have you as a trainee, as a student before, now as an ambassador, as a colleague. So yeah, we are exchanging. We are both on in the NASAP, North American chapter of the International Society of Pharmacovigilance, and definitely that the pharmacovigilance space now is growing, and there's also many requirements. The regulation is evolving. There's also the other side of the medical devices that are also in Europe, in North America, but also, of course, with the big pharmaceutical companies, an impact on the rest of the world. So it's very important, and that this is really it was, and it's still my goal, my objective, to share the knowledge, the practical knowledge, because as a pharmacist, as medical doctors, as physicians, as medical dentist, as a nurse, and we know that the pharmacovigilance education during our graduation is absent. There's no but when we are graduated, we're looking for to join the pharmaceutical companies, the pharmaceutical and the pharmaceutical industry, and we found we can share that there's a pharmacovigilance expanding pharmacovigilance space, and that people can join, can also it's really we care of patient safety, and we try to understand risks. We try to understand the adverse events, the seriousness, the potential risks, and to address those risks, to also to avoid, to minimize those risks by developing risk management strategies, to evaluate those risks, and developing strategies to avoid those risks. And it's really an amazing space, and I really urge our audience to jump in with even with our certification or another. But of course, as I mentioned, our certification, our training is a job ready. That the theory, the introduction, the terminology, all the knowledge, all the regulation, join the practical side with the safety database training, with the writing of the reports, with also the case processing and other field like quality, the quality management in pharmacovigilance, and also audit and inspections at the end. But also, as it's job ready certification and training, we provide an update of the resume of our students and also cover letter. And for some brilliant students, of course, we can provide a reference also. So thank you. Let's jump into the comments. So Katayon is here. Thank you. Hi, Katayon. Hello, Kike. Rabia, Khalid, I would love to join, but I need details. Yes, so you can follow us. You can join, visit our website, InnoVigilance.com, and contact us via the social media, as I mentioned, LinkedIn, Facebook, and also contact us from our website. Perfect. Thank you, Khalid. Nadira, hi, colleagues. So hi, Nadira. Where are you from, Nadira? Mariam, our new students also, hello. Thank you for hosting us. So you're welcome. Thank you for attending. What do you think we as a PV professionals can do about the vaccines from the users?
That's a really interesting question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, my friends and family know I work in drug safety, and drug safety has become it's really gone under the microscope over the past year due to the coronavirus vaccines which have come out. For a lot of folks, it's unthinkable that some of the mRNA technology that came out with Pfizer and BioNTech could be put on market so quickly, and everybody's worried. Everybody's thinking, are these vaccines safe? Have they tested it? What goes on behind the scenes at pharma companies? How do they track these things? So to answer this question, I'm not 100% sure what PV professionals can do directly. I think the greatest thing we can do is be visible, and to have a visible presence online, and to talk more and more with our colleagues and friends about some of the science and technology that goes behind making these vaccines and how they're reported. So as adverse events come in, they're reported on essentially a daily basis. We have to write up these reports, make sure that they're valid, and aggregate them and send them to regulatory authorities. And all of this mechanism, this great locomotive that goes on behind the scenes, is not seen by the public. They don't know anything about it. So that's a really interesting point, that we should show them what at least a glimpse of what actually goes on, and to show them what it takes to make a drug safe. And this is actually a really good segue into something else. As newer technologies come in, for example, cell therapies, CRISPR technology, adverse events may not occur for 5 to 10 years from the onset of treatment. We think about adverse events right now as something that happens fairly immediately after you take a drug, small molecule, something like that. But as time goes on, AEs might occur years and years later. So it's important that we show the public that there is a mechanism where we can report this. There are ways that we understand safety, that we understand causality. There's a whole industry behind it, and I think that'll introduce a lot of I guess quell a lot of the fears that are in the public right now.
Yeah, greatly. Thank you. Raj, hi Raj, one of our students, medical doctor. Thank you so much, Dr. Omar and Pinak. I wanted to know if you could walk us through a typical day in your life on the job in terms of specific tasks that you perform each day.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I hesitate to answer this question because it varies so much day to day, and it depends a lot with how many adverse events that get in. You know, all of these beeps and boops that you hear in the background, that's all of my emails going off because it keeps me so busy. So basically, I work at a CRO, and I guess this is a good time to pause and understand what a CRO is and how it differs from a pharma company. CROs are called contract research organizations, and they're basically they provide the service of pharmacovigilance for clients, which can be pharma companies, could be government agencies, medical device companies, any of the sort, or all of the sort as one. CROs tend to be very busy places. They tend to be a place where it's a great environment to learn as you deal with a large volume of work on a daily basis. On a typical day, I can get anywhere between 5 to 10 adverse events. Yeah. And what I do on these types of occasions is that once we get the report, I assess it for validity. I make sure it goes through medical review, and if necessary, we decide if it gets reported to the FDA or not, depending on its seriousness and other causal criteria. All of that sounds very complicated, and there's a lot of protocols that go on behind the scenes. A lot of that involves contacting clinical sites, making sure that their protocols are in line with what we see in the reported adverse event. And a huge part of my job is writing those reports. At my current CRO, we write these manually. We don't use templates. So, I put a lot of care, attention to detail, and this is where all of this training comes into play, where I know how to write. The language that we use is so important as it goes through regulatory. And and that's essentially it. I know, and this might be more true for you, Dr. Amir, at pharma companies, at other agencies, they might pay a lot more attention to signal detection, meaning they don't deal with all of this mess of reporting and sending things to the FDA, and that happens in a whirlwind. They really focus on key things and understanding how this affects their drug, how this affects marketing data, how this affects the brochure of the drug, how this gets launched, if it'll affect the drug launch in the first place. So that can be a huge difference between working at a sponsor company versus working at CROs.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, there's also difference when we are working globally on a global pharmaceutical company, when we're working as affiliate. It depends also on the region where you are working, on the company. If, as I always mention, that it depends on the company. If you are a Japanese company based in the US or the American company based in the US, different than the European company based in US or Canada, and vice versa. So it's really different. I know some colleagues that they move from company to another. Of course, the bases are the same, but with the culture and with the therapeutic areas also, that there's a lot of sometimes there's difference from PV activity to another. Thank you, Raj. Hi, Mohammed. Yeah, Nadira is from Jerusalem, Al-Quds. Hello. Mohammed, a friend of mine, thanks for this initiative. It's really helpful. Thanks also to your guest, to Pinak, for his testimony. Thank you. Hi, Ines. Ines is a global safety officer from Paris. So bonjour, Ines. Great work, Omar and Pinak. Thank you. A question from Dr. Kiki. Do you maintain a medical license to be drug safety physician?
That's a good question. I personally don't. However, I think if you're working as a medical monitor capacity, then I think you do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Amir. And that essentially what that means is drug safety physicians, we're not treating physicians, meaning that we don't actually have to impact patient decisions on a day-to-day basis. However, if we're assessing for causality and understanding that if an adverse event is due to the drug itself or if it's due to a multitude of different factors, I believe we have to be a licensed healthcare provider in some way, shape, or form. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean having an NPI, like a National Physician Identification Number. That can mean if you're, I believe you can also have work in the same capacity if you're a licensed clinical nurse or a licensed clinical researcher as well. So that can be broadened to physician assistants and individuals in the allied health spaces.
Yeah, so there's really also there's differences. As I have an Algerian license. I have a French license also, as I'm French too. I have practiced before in France, in Paris. I have the license there, and when I came here in Canada, so I joined the pharmaceutical company without maintain or get a license to practice. So this is also for the newcomers interesting. For the medical doctors, from the pharmacists and nurses and the other professionals. So when joining the pharmaceutical companies and in PV, mostly you don't need to get the license because as Pinak mentioned, that you will not impact a patient decision. So you can join without a license, but you need the trainings and to know to get the knowledge of pharmacovigilance and drug safety to be well prepared to join the PV space. Raj is back, and how difficult was it for you to become proficient in the nuances of the drug safety database, Argus, etc., and the others?
Oh man. It takes quite a while. For me, I would say it took me a few months to be okay with it. I'm still not 100% okay with all of the nuances of that, as well as SharePoint. We use SharePoint a lot at my different clients. It's, these safety databases are funny because they're written in SQL, a programming language, SQL, and it can get very complicated very quickly. And what I mean by that is if there's a discrepancy between how things are reported or little glitches, it can impact things in a large scale. And I think those problems are very difficult to address because it involves not only you, it involves IT, clients IT. So it becomes kind of a mess that you have to wrangle with every day. So on that end, I'm always learning. But in terms of getting used to the workflow and understanding the concepts behind what you're doing, it's not that difficult. They're quite simplistic concepts once you understand the work that you're doing and how it impacts the overall reporting of the case.
Thank you. So yeah, the SQL is structured query language. It is the standard language for relational database management systems for our audience. Yeah, of course, definitely. And in those safety databases, the learning is ongoing. We are continuously learning, and it depends when you are placed on the workflow. So if you are doing the booking or the data entry, or the medical review or quality QC or quality review. It depends, and you learn when you jump from a position to another with different tasks. I can add. So the other, so Mariam, our new student, medical doctor that joined us. For your information, I have spoken to multiple people who have attended Dr. Eimer's class, and they all highly recommend it. I signed up recently. Thank you, and we are also lucky and happy to have you on board. Thank you, Mariam. Hi, sir. Thank you from Frida for answering her question. Good job, Omar. Thank you, Muammar. Thank you very much. Palak, good afternoon. How is the QPDS certification accredited by the American Society of Pharmacovigilance? I am a bit confused as the certification is from Canada while ASP is located in the US. So Dr. Eimer is based in Canada, but the training is international training. We have students from and graduates from Canada, from the US, from Algeria, from Egypt, from Dubai, and Nigeria in Africa. So it's worldwide, it's an international training. The QPDS certification is not accredited by the American Society of Pharmacovigilance, but it's recognized. And in our last webinar, when we hosted, our guest were Dr. Sarah. She announced that our QPDS certification is recognized by the ASP. I hope this answers your question. Raghda, hello, Raghda. Good job. Thank you, Asila. Nadia Mian, what is your advice to PV professionals to keep up their PV skills and knowledge?
Yeah, PV is a space that changes extremely rapidly, more so than honestly I ever expected. I've met professionals who've been in the field for the past 10 years or so, and even in that short space, 10 years, they've noted dramatic differences in the way that cases are reported, the deadlines, the regulations. It's really important to read. I know this might seem a little elementary, but it's easy to have those good habits lost when we're doing the hustle and bustle of daily work. Read really good literature on drug safety. This doesn't have to necessarily be textbooks. There are a lot of great journals out there. One that I read fairly frequently is called Drug Safety. It's something that's provided free for us if you're a NASOP member. NASOP stands for North American Society of Pharmacovigilance. So once you sign up for a membership, that's one publication that's always available to you. So that's great to keep up your PV skills and knowledge. Also, it's great to network. Once you read a few of those articles and you see who the authors are and you see who the industry leaders are in your field, look them up on LinkedIn. Drop them a note. Say hi. Tell them that you're also in PV. And you never know the types of opportunities that might come your way just by that simple introduction. So those are some really good habits to have.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. The networking is very important. The Drug Safety Journal also, and of course, networking on LinkedIn, on Clubhouse, and we will discuss. As I know that in such webinars we are frustrated. Even we ask questions, but on Clubhouse is the audio social media, and you can be we can bring you on stage and ask and discuss and give inputs. So thank you. What is your advice? So the same question for Sona Samuel. Are there any special requirements for international students to join the course? So this question is from me, Pinak, if you don't mind. The most prerequisites and most important is to be a medical doctor, pharmacist or pharmacist doctor, PharmD, MD, nurse, or PhD or master science from graduated with the life sciences. because you need to acquire easily the terminology and the knowledge of all the medical terms. It's very important. But you can internationally. The course is pre-recorded, is online. All the lectures are online, so you can join and visit our website or contact us, and we will provide you all the information and help you to join. But it's really easy. Just visit our website www.innovigilance.com, and you have just a button you hit, and you have all the information. You hit the button and you can join, pay and join. Thank you. Other question? Thanks for this great session. I appreciate your insights and feedback. Thank you for your questions also, Nadia, and for attending our webinars. Other question is, aggregate reporting and signal detection a part of the PV training provided by you? If so, how many hours are dedicated particularly to aggregate reporting and signal detection specially? So this question is for me also. So yeah, of course. Just to be to say that we have 4 modules. The first module is introductory module. The second module is about the regulation, the worldwide regulation, the terminology of the also the drug development. Then all the regulation, the worldwide regulation, the ICH. But also the FDA, European Medicine Agency, the European, the Japanese, the Chinese, and the other countries, the rest of the world. The third module is about the case processing, causality assessment, safety database training, all of this, the practical and the day-to-day activities. Then the last module is about the signal detection and signal management, with a lecture about 2 hours, and of course we're providing handouts with the you have the pre-recorded lectures, but you can also we provide the handouts that you can save for your information for you, and you have access 1 year access to the platform, and you can back to these lectures and to the handouts. So I said for the aggregate reporting, we have a lecture of 2 hours. For the signal detection, for also the risk management system with the risk management plan, the risk management minimization measures, the REMS, the risk evaluation and mitigation systems or strategies from the US. And then the PSMF, or the quality, the pharmacovigilance quality management system, then audit and inspections lectures.
And just to tag on to what you said, Dr. Amir, the handouts that you get in every lecture are extremely valuable. And I can't underscore that enough. It's not a very dry handout or just a normal PowerPoint. They're actually very thoughtfully made and crafted. And I actually, in the course of in the course of my current job, there are details that you'll forget and you have to go back and refer to, right? So I actually frequently went back and looked at my notes and made sure that I remember all of those pesky little details that are so important in signal detection and signal management. So super great asset.
Thank you very much. And I will I want to thank Dr. Shams and RX course for who develops our this course, the InnoVigilance, the QPDS course. So thank you, Dr. Shams, and thank you, RX course. Where can I find your class? Is it online? Yes, definitely online. So as I mentioned, just visit www.innovigilance.com, and we can share with you also the the link for the website, and you have all the details. You can also, as I mentioned, contact us on our social media pages. Bonjour, comment peut-on joindre les cours PV? Hi, thank you, Nasiba. So how we can join the course, the PV course. So as I mentioned, I will tell it also in French. So Nasiba, tu peux nous rejoindre sur, visiter le site web InnoVigilance.com et vous aurez toutes les informations. Vous pouvez aussi nous rejoindre sur nos médias sociaux. Thank you. What are the journals? So yeah, the journals, there's different journals, the journal Drug Safety, you have all the journals, but the Drug Safety journal is affiliated with the International Society of Pharmacovigilance, and there is a huge and very valuable papers there. Yeah, so you can also but by being a member of the ISOP, of the International Society of Pharmacovigilance, you have a free access to this journal. But also you can help, you can interact with authors. You can also participate to write articles, and it's very, very, very important. So, Pinak, if you can add something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you covered the main points. Drug safety is what I read on a regular basis. Just like as you mentioned, it's free for NASOP members. A couple of the other things that I read to keep up with the industry are Fierce Pharma. Fierce Pharma is it's just industry highlights, industry news. In case any of you are interested in working for sponsor pharma companies, in your interview they might ask you, well, okay, Dr. Amir, what do you know about our products coming out? Which specific product are you looking into? What's your therapeutic area? What do you think about our current phase trials? You know, those types of news, it's good to keep up with so you can be literate on it, and it's exciting. You know, so some of the cool things that are on market right now, it's nice to keep up with and know what's going on. Another great thing, a great news outlet that I subscribe to is Stat News. That just gives general healthcare news, and in addition to medical device and pharma news as well. So those are great resources.
Thank you, Palak. Would you please share a sample certificate that will be received after QPDS? I would love to see how it would look like before I sign up. Yeah, Palak, just contact us, and we also share the certificate and our graduates on our social media. So you can go on LinkedIn and you can follow and see our posts on LinkedIn. International InnoVigilance International Academy, or also on Facebook. Or you can contact us, and we can provide all the information you want to know, and we will be happy to assist. This is a certification, and with a badge, accreditable badge from Accreditable for the QPDS, qualified professional and drug safety professional. So this is the InnoVigilance certificate, and you have also the badge QPDS. Thank you, Shams.
I like the QR code that's on it too. That takes you right to the link. That's quite nice.
Merci, très bonne continuation. Merci, thank you, Nasiba. Raj is back again. In the RX course lecture on medical review and causality assessment, Dr. Omar, I mentioned that the reports are submitted by the reporting team. Is this true in your organization too, Pinak?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Every CRO, every pharma company is organized differently. My team is very lean. We don't have a lot of people on staff. So that means that a lot of us do tasks simultaneously, like you mentioned with adverse event causality detection and medical review, I do that. That's part of my job description, in addition to doing some of the case processing roles that others might not get, for example.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really different. The organization is different from a company to another. It depends. As also I mentioned when I'm networking, when I'm answering questions, is that there's some PV departments with 100 professionals in it, and there's PV departments in CROs, in biotechs, with just one person doing everything in PV and drug safety. Of course, the workload is not the same with biotech with 1 or 2 products, and the big pharma with 200 products. You can guess that the activity and the tasks are not distributed at the same thing. Azira from Bosnia Herzegovina, thank you is for following us, and it's a PV friend. So all the people from PV that I know have one common, their passion for pharmacovigilance and drug safety and patient safety. They do a Sisyphus job. Thank you. And they have a common mission. Greetings, Dr. Omar and Dr. Pinak. Great. Thank you, Azira.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. That reminded me, Sisyphus. I don't remember if you, Dr. Omar, you remember who Sisyphus is. He's the person with holding a boulder and going up and down a mountain. I'm laughing because in the painting of Sisyphus, they depicted him as smiling. It's an interesting art history fact, but if someone is doing this great arduous task, you would imagine he's like sweating and sad and grunting and all of that, but no, he's smiling when he's doing the work, and I think that's kind of a little bit indicative of our plight, Dr.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Is there certification for this course? Yes, you have a certification and QPDS accreditation, QPDS, qualified professional in pharmacovigilance and drug safety. And this is the certificate that you earn at the end of the course. So I think we're done. A lot of questions. Thank you very much. Thanks for your attending. So thank you very much, Pinak, for your dedication, for accepting joining us today. This is the LinkedIn, so go and network and join Pinak on LinkedIn, network, also on Clubhouse. You can join in us. You can please visit our website, visit our YouTube channel, InnoVigilance YouTube channel, our LinkedIn page, our Facebook page, and don't hesitate to reach out to us for any question, to join our amazing and wonderful course. And we are really happy, and thank you very much for attending our webinars. The next webinar will be in June, and we will announce for it. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you all.